Hello everyone, it is Joe here from OmniPoke, the channel that brings you guys everything Pokemon. If you're looking for PTCGO codes, including the stuff from Darkness Ablaze, make sure you go ahead and check out the Potown store. You can get a 5% discount on your orders using the code OmniPoke. For today's video, we're going over Control. Now, we lost a lot of things to rotation. We lost Oranguru, we lost Articuno, we lost Belelba to the ban, but still, there is a way, and a number of players have started to cotton on to this sort of strategy. It's using Excadrill's Rototiller attack to do basically the same thing as Oranguru. This time you're shuffling 4 cards from your discard pile back into your deck. There are perks to a shuffle compared to guaranteeing the bottom 3. There are downsides in some occasions because you can't guarantee the order. But people have found a way that you can go infinite with Excadrill, and as long as you're doing the hand block package, that's to say Stamp, Chip-Chip, Surge, Jesse James, you can get people to a 0-card hand, and then you can control their top decks and get in that loop where you are cycling Crushing Hammers, cycling Chip-Chips every turn, making sure you're controlling their top deck, and ultimately removing cards by using Stamp, JJ, and then Chip-Chip again, and looping all those things over and over. So yeah, there's still a way for Control to work in the new format, so today I'm going to be bringing you this list. I've played a decent number of games with this deck. I'm by no means an expert in Control, but I've got some experience with the list in front of you, and I feel like it's actually pretty decent. So let's jump into the archetype. First of all, we have the 3-2 line of Excadrill. He is the thing that makes us infinite. The Drilbur has the Rototiller attack, allowing you to shuffle a card from your discard pile into your deck, which is something that's sometimes sort of can crop up in those opening turns where maybe you use a Quick Ball for Zacian and you want to get Quick Ball back to get more like Mincinos and stuff. Quick Ball's genuinely like a very good card for the early turns. Something like that could be okay. Or if you just don't want to use Intrepid Sword, typically you are Intrepid Swording as much as possible here. But if you want to cycle back like an early Pal Pad or an early Ordinary Rod, even an early Crushing Hammer perhaps, against certain archetypes, that could be worthwhile. For the most part, you're using Intrepid Sword though, but Drilbur does have that little Rototiller, which is worth mentioning. Excadrill, though, is pretty much the focal point. He's what lets us go infinite, which allows the loop to sort of maintain itself towards that late game with that Rototiller attack, shuffling 4 cards into your deck, which is really cool. Let's not forget it does have a damaging attack, Slash, and thanks to the PTCGO time restrictions, quite often you may be forced to slash your way to victory. That doesn't mean you announce Slash turn after turn after turn, but however, once you remove all of your opponent's energies in play and you're using Chip-Chip to control their top deck, you can mix in Slashes alongside Rototillers that gets back your next Chip-Chip and gets back your Reset Stamp and that sort of thing to maintain that 0-card hand size on their side. There are certain matchups where your opponent has just got too many prizes in the early game. They still have like 30 cards remaining. You only have 12 minutes to win the game. You've got to go on the aggressive. So Slash doing 90 is actually pretty good. It can knock out Dedenes thanks to weakness as well. You can deal very good damage to Eternatus, but Eternatus is one of your best matchups regardless, just through hammer usage basically. But yeah, Slash lets you go on the aggressive if need be, so don't sleep on that factor. From there, we have the draw stuff. We have a 4-3 line of Cinccino. I really like having the highest Minccino count possible, as well as 4 Quick Ball, 2 Com, and double capture, because we're all about trying to get towards that cycle as much as possible. We are petrified of Marnie. We are petrified of random stamps hitting us, because that's what people will do to stop our accumulation. So making sure we have as much access to early Cincinos, Mincinos that become Cincinos, meaning we're doing as much as possible from that early game, means we're cycling the bad and drawing towards the good as much as possible. Simple as that. That's also why you're seeing 2 Zacian V. We're never trying to attach metal energies from Intrepid Sword for the most part. We are just doing this to draw 3 cards. And that's what we will do to announce sort of the end of our turn throughout the game until we get into exactly that Rototiller loop. So throughout the first like 5-6 turns, as your opponent starts getting through your board and what have you, you're using Intrepid Sword to work towards your hand disruption combo pieces, which is very cool. Similar reason why I'm playing double Jirachi. Really like having Stellar Wish in here. Unfortunately, Drilbur has a 2 retreat cost, but everything else, well, we have the 4 Mincinos, 2 Lapras, 1 Giratina, and 2 Jirachi all have a 1 retreat cost, so capture energying out Jirachi in the early turns is actually like a really good play. So you can just pivot, retreat into Stellar Wish. Stellar Wish gives you earlier access to your 4 Crushings and your 1 Yell Grunt, which is a really, really big deal against ADP, because obviously they're pressurizing you quite early on. It can also get you things like Wondrous Labyrinth even in that situation. So yeah, lots of times when Stellar Wish is super good for getting those early energy disruption cards, which is big in the ADP matchup I've found, but also it's just getting you extra access to Com, Quick Ball, that sort of thing. When you're able to make do, Intrepid Sword, Stellar Wish, Stellar Wish then Intrepid Sword to end your turn, you get a lot of hand advantage very, very quickly. So yeah, a couple Jirachis in here, definitely useful. I'm playing 2 copies of Lapras, and I got to shout out someone from the Discord here who came to me with this idea. Dabbing Ukrainian came to me with the idea of having the Mermaid's Call Misty's Favor package in here. Play 2 copies of each of these. I find it very, very useful. So Mermaid's Call basically gives you a propagation each turn. You can go ahead and grab a Misty's Favor from your discard pile straight into your hand. This is a very good option for 2 reasons, really. So for the most part, you're just putting it back into your hand to either use it with Make Do, Quick Ball, or Jesse James. Or you're using the actual effect of Misty's Favor, because it's helping you accumulate supporter cards. It can help you get Surge, Jesse James, like Bird Keeper, or Sinlin, or Rosa, or whatever else. So fill in the blank there. So Misty's Favor is a usable early game supporter, which this deck doesn't play that many of. You're just playing like Cynthia Caitlin and Bird Keeper, other than that really, as like proactive draw support cards. And then you have Misty's Favor now increasing that count. So the Lapras really does help us sort of maintain hand advantage and actually grow the hand quite a lot, which is very cool. But also it gives us a nice way out of you know, those Reset Stamp and Marnie plays. At the very least, you can end on a Misty's Favor into Intrepid Sword, and then you've probably accumulated the handlock pieces of Surge and Jesse James, and then it's down to you to find, like, Stamp, basically. So, yeah, very, very nice to have the double Lapras in here. I'm playing a 2-2 line. I have played a 1-1. I feel 1-1 is fine, but I've used the Lapras so much that I am maintaining that count. If you wanted to put in, you know, second Rod, second Pal Pad, perhaps, second Scoop Up Net, I can see the cut, and if you're cutting one, you cut the other as well, so you go to a 1-1 line. That's fine. At the moment, we're going 2-2 because I've enjoyed Mermaid's Call that much so far. From there, we have another Scoop Up Net option in Dimension Breach Giratina. You can punish a ton of things. There's still a good amount of special energies in the format. There's Speed Lightning, there's Horror Psychic, there's, Horror, Capture, tons of things. So, did I say Horror? I meant Hiding, yeah. Tons of special energies that you can still punish. Any tag call based ADPs as well, you can still definitely punish. Don't use the Giratina a huge amount, but when it does work, it works really nicely. You can also like Rosa for Scoop Up Net Giratina. I've done that a few times, and you've like double breached, and it can really hurt a handful of decks, which is also very good. The only other Pokemon we haven't mentioned is the Lucario and Melmetal-GX. At the start of this video, I said we lost Articuno. Well, this is the DIY version of Articuno. We play 1 copy of Metal Saucer in the deck, we play 1 copy of Metal Energy in the deck, and we play Lucario Melmetal. The idea being that on our turn where we go Surge, Stamp, Jesse James, Chip-Chip, you can also remove all energies from the opponent's active by benching Luke Metal, sorcering, manual attaching, and using a Bird Keeper or a Scoop Up Net to get it into the active, to use that Full Metal Wall GX for the energy removal effect. So yeah, you technically can do it all in one turn with that 1 of Saucer, 1 of Metal, 1 of the actual GX itself. Obviously, that lends itself to prizing quite a lot, but do bear in mind, if you are doing the hand-locking strat, you can just, like, raw bench the Luke Metal attached to it. If you're doing Chip-Chip stuff anyway, you can just try and combine the hand-lock with, for example, a boss. So you can go Surge, JJ, boss, and Chip-Chip. And then later on, you can boss back up the thing with a bunch of energies and bring the Luke Metal into the active to remove them. So it doesn't have to work all in one turn, but having that option is very nice. That's why you are seeing 1 copy of Saucer, 1 copy of Metal, to make that happen all in a turn. And when it does, it's very explosive. It does feel very random with just having 3 1-of individual cards, but bear in mind we are playing Rosa, which can piece those exact 3 cards together all in one package. So again, if you're combining the Surge JJ with Rosa, you can make that happen quite often. So that's also definitely something to bear in mind. Onto the trainer cards now. We are playing 1 copy of Ordinary Rod to recycle our Pokemon and energy cards. It's, you know, a 1-card deal that gets you 4 more cards, which is actually a really big deal for you because Jesse James is obviously doing removal of cards, so you can pad out your deck a little bit more. So that's very cool. Same reason for Pal Pad. Pal Pad just gives you so much coverage. It means that you're not worried about getting like stalled in the active on any Pokemon. If people just like boss you up or something like that, you can always Pal Pad. That can become a Bird Keeper. It can become like the Yell Grunt. It can become Surge. It can become Jesse James. It's just getting you more card value for the one physical count. So it makes your Rototiller less expensive, which, well, it's one less count in the Rototiller, which means you can commit to more Chip-Chip stamps, Crushing Hammers. You can be more versatile, basically, with a Pal Pad. We're playing one copy of Scoop Up Net. It's a great way to switch everything but the Zacian V and the Luke Metal. It can be... So it's sometimes a combo piece to make the Luke Metal work. It can be a way to reuse Giratina if need be. It's basically a better switching out that also has potential healing upside. Sometimes it can just do wonders for bench management. To like make room for your more Cinccino, more Lapras and stuff like that. So yeah, just a nice one-off to have in the deck, really. Then we are playing the one Saucer, like I've already mentioned. Then we're playing two ofs. Basically, if you see two copies of any individual card in the deck, it's because they're like too important to prize one of. So that's where you see double Chip-Chip, double Stamp. Obviously, this is the way that you try and get your opponent down to that low hand size, and then JJ the rest away. Obviously, we can do a total of 4 discards in a turn by going Surge, JJ, JJ. So if they've taken 2 prize cards, you can technically get them to 0 any time, which is very cool. It's really nice actually having double Chip-Chip in deck if you are going for the Slash strategy, because then you can Chip-Chip on a turn that you use Slash, then Chip-Chip again on the turn that you use Rototiller, that puts them both back in the deck. So it's something to keep an eye on, that double Chip-Chip is actually live quite a lot, so something to just be aware of. Then we have the ball search stuff. We have double com and 4 quick ball. Like I said, you have to max out the quick ball because getting early Zacians and Cincinos is just the priority for the most part. That's why you're also seeing 2 capture energies in here as well. So all things to bear in mind. Then we have 4 crushing hammers, because energy denial is oftentimes the way we stop our opponent hitting us in the face, and that's how control wins. For stadium cards, Wondrous Labyrinth, another hurdle for ADP to sometimes get over. It means it's more combination pieces that they need, not just like Saucer, E-Switch, Attach. Now they also need to find Stadium on top of that. So that's very cool. It's a great way to deny all sorts of attackers for the most part. It means that you can like try and loop Yell Grunt as well. If they even have like a 1 energy attacking threat, you can weave in a Yell Grunt every single turn, and the Wondrous Labyrinth sort of just sticks, which is very cool. Also, the double Gala Mine alongside the double Boss is another great way we can try and trap things. Also, just stopping our opponent hitting us. That's kind of the deal, really. Just stop them hitting you is kind of the main core concept here. For one-offs, we are playing Yell Grunt. Obviously, you're allowed to prize this card because you also have Crushing Hammers. Rosa, you're allowed to prize this card, although it is very good. It's not essential. It's just trying to piece together exact situations, like makes that Luke Metal a lot more live. Something that you can grab, like your Excadrill all in one pop, these sorts of things. It's like a really versatile card, but it's not like a mandatory include, I would say. Double Favor, like I've said, it's free propagation every turn for your Make Do's / your Jesse James. And then 2 ofs of the super important cards, the double Surge, so you can use 3 supporters in a turn, the double Jesse James, because it's part of the hand lock, the double Cynthia Caitlin, which allows you then to prize Pal Pad, because Sinlin can be your fallback option to get you access to, you know, Bird Keepers if you can get trapped for any reason, Surges, Bosses back, all that sort of stuff. But Sinlin is much more proactive in the early turns, that can help you draw more cards and get you instant access to things like Yell Grunt, whereas Pal Pad is an instant access, which is something to bear in mind. Double Bird Keeper, early game draw, pivots you into Jirachi, pivots you into Luke Metal on certain turns as well, protects your Cincinos, and you just throw anything else in the active basically. Bird Keeper's very good for that reason. And double Boss alongside Gala Mine is a great way that we can create a win condition for ourselves for trapping things. Energy split's a little bit wonky. We play the 1 metal just so that we can full metal wall GX in 1 turn with the Saucer. You don't need any metal energies to be attached, but it just means you can do it all in a turn. The double capture to try and get early access to Zacian and Cinccino, and the double fighting energy to loop with Excadrill. So yeah, we have a lot of like redundancy in here. You're allowed to prize any of your one-offs basically, because, you know, if Scoop Up's prize, you have your Bird Keepers. If Ordinary Rod's prize, you can just put back your Pokemon. If Pal Pad's prize, you've got your Sinlin. So every one-of count is basically covered for. apart from the Luke metal, basically. And other than that, everything is 2 copies or more. So you do have to be quite alert and aware of what is and isn't prized, because you want to be infinite with what you have access to. With 2 counts of cards, it's like a 1 in 50 chance, I think it is, around that number, for both copies to be prized. So there will be the odd occasion where it comes up, but more often than not, it probably won't punish you. So the 2 count is oftentimes just a go-to, and I think you can be happy with that quite often. So yeah, that's where we're at with the list. A few other cards that I've tried in here. I've seen Silvally GX be used in this deck. So you Rototiller, then you eventually, like, you work the Silvally in towards the late game, where you're using Jesse James to lower your own hand size quite a lot, to the point where you Rototiller, then Silvally GX gets you straight back into that hand. Definitely good when you're in that lock. It's like super good in that exact situation, and it is somewhat protecting you. Similar to the Lapras, it's somewhat protecting you against Marnies and Stamps, because you're always able to like proactively play cards and then instantly draw a handful from the Silvally. So it's definitely good in that aspect. I just think that Misty's favor is more useful in the very early game. Lapras is obviously easier to accumulate, and I don't really feel like committing spaces to like a 2-2 Silvally, and if you just play a 1-1, there's the whole headache of prizing, which I'm always slightly skeptical of in this list, because you're already so concerned about so many things being prized. Obviously, you can't access them unless you're doing the slash strategy. So yeah, at the moment, I'm happier with Lapras Misty's favor, but you might want to change that out for Silvally GX. I've mostly played this sort of list, but Silvally is fine as well. Tool Scrapper is potentially a card that you're seeing missing here. It can be a great way to just shut off balloons, and then the chunkiest retreat cost things obviously present themselves to you. But I'm hoping that Galamine is providing enough of a service there, chunking up retreat costs, especially when you are removing the hand for the most part. So that's why you're not seeing Tool Scrapper. I don't think there's too many other supporters you can think about. Maybe just like one of Hapu, or one of like Research that we've seen in some lists of Control, just to get moving at times. Just work towards the bottom, which is basically where you can just loop all your good cards. I think that's definitely reasonable. Maybe that Rosa space is what is the most flexible here. Maybe that second, maybe again, if you're going down to 1-1 Lapras, you can think about working in like that one of Hapu or whatever. I don't think it's the worst idea in the world, because it does get you digging deeper. So that's what it's all about. I will jump into the ladder. Hopefully people do not concede into us until the lock has been established. But people do concede into Control on the ladder sometimes. I've got the list up to the side of me because prize checking is actually pretty important for Control. If we get some real games in, it's probably only going to be 1 or 2, because we will be going down to the wire. Things to bear in mind when you're specifically playing on PTCGO, even in the early turns, try and make your actions as fast as possible, because the clock can sometimes be your only loss condition. So always be alert and aware of time. I think after your initial deck search for the key pieces, you want to try and play quickly, and that really just comes with experience with Control, I would say. I still elect to go first for this deck if I'm given the choice, because I'm accepting that 4 quick, 2 capture, 2 Zacian gives me very good access to early Intrepid Swords, and early Intrepid Swords is what it's all about. We will send Drilbur into the firing line early on, because I want to protect the sword. The sword is the good guy. Looks like we're staring down a Charmander. Roaring Resolve may be a counter to our deck, to be honest with you, because even if you control every aspect, they can still pull 2 energies out of the deck every turn with Roaring Resolve. So this could be a counter strat, which is a big yikes. We will just Intrepid Sword. I mean, I shouldn't really be too worried in the meta about coming up against Charizard. It's just one of those meme things that happens on a video. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'm pretty sure this is going to be yikes. Potentially we can Galamine boss trap stuff. But if he just goes Lone Lizard here, it's going to be pretty rough for us actually, I think. Depending on how strong their start is here. It's looking good for them so far. Our start isn't ideal. No access to Minccino just yet. A ton of energy is coming onto the Charmander. It's going to hit us for the Ember. Most other decks would win the game on the spot here by killing a 70 hit point basic, but not us. I will fire off a Crushing Hammer. I know it's not like super impactful, but I kind of want them just gone. We know they don't have Candy Charizard, so we're just gonna hit the sword button again here. We get towards Quick Ball, which is nice. Oh, they're playing Zacian too, huh? For early game draws, by the looks of things. They're gonna thin their deck. They're gonna Welder, draw 3. This is unironically one of the hardest matchups I could think of that comes to mind right now. They're gonna evolve into a Charmeleon. Energy number 6 goes on. The only thing that I think could maybe make us win the game is if he does get too overzealous with all that stuff, but at the same time, I've got to be thinking he's playing energy recovery like supporters potentially as well, even. So we will kickstart here by tossing Zacian. We can have a quick look. So we know a Lapras is prized, which is absolutely fine. We know a Drilbur's prized. We know a Chip-Chip is in our hand. Oh, a Drilbur's not prized, it's in our hand. Pal Pad is in the prize cards. So Pal Pad's definitely one to bear in mind. Lapras is fine. We have all... how many Cinccinos have I prized? I've prized... Wait, are they over here? No. Okay, so we prized 2 Cinccinos. Which kind of sucks. We have all of our energy cards. Misty's Favor in the prize cards. JJ in prizes. Which is a bit of a yikes. We'll just take this. Alright. I'm assuming a Jirachi is dying pretty soon. We can always begin to surge if I want to. Right now, this com could be a another Minccino, but it doesn't make sense. I will take a Crushing Hammer just to thin the Crushing Hammer. It's a huge play from us, getting rid of that. I want to play Rosa here. I don't want to use Surge, because I don't want to like get rid of it too proactively. So we know that more Cincinos don't help us other than Gust plays. Metal Energy is something I want to start pitching as quickly as possible. I want to be using Misty's Favor quite quickly, I think, because I think I'll also be taking Lapras here. Misty's Favor gets us towards the JJ plays. I'm not going to be seeing any boss stuff. We have Stamp Chip-Chip already in hand. So yeah, I think it's just going to be this for now. I'm thinking about baiting an energy attachment onto Drilbur so he kills that and not a Cinccino here, or a Minccino. Yeah, I like it. Alright. The only thing we are hoping is that he gets overzealous with energy attachments to the upfront boyo. Also, I want to handlock him like early, not when he's just down to 2 prize cards or something like that. I want to try and like get that hand down early. That's well number 4 played, I believe. Hopefully that's hurting his draw options quite a lot. Still no Charizard. Alright. We will take our free Make Do. We will grab our freebie. Still feel like playing the Misties is our best move here. I want to Quick Ball. I want to take one of these, I think. Next turn he can Gust, kill. I'll have the Stamp, Surge, Jesse James, Chip-Chip established. I won't have Energy Removal established yet. So maybe I'm taking Luke Metal here. Because we will have the Saucer. I need to work towards Energy card. I will Misty before the Stellar Wish because I'm working towards Scoop Up Nets and I'm working towards Energy Card. So we want this, this, this. I already have the other options all in my hand. Scoop Up Net's a good card for us. Proactive Energy, or sorry, Stadium Removal's fine, I think. And we'll draw 3. Energy card is good. Puts down a Zigzagoon, which could give us a trapping out. Obviously, that he probably plays Scoop Up Nets though. He might only be Zigzagooning to thin nets from his hand. We bring up Lapras so we can double Mermaid's Call here on the Scoop Up Net play. So I think I give him one random card here. The thing is, if I go down to, if I let him just like boss kill Zacian, it's so Monka-esque, and I want to capitalize on the fact that he doesn't have Charizard in play. Like, what if he just makes Charizard next turn? Don't I like always lose? I got to think about this. Is it time to make the play now? I feel like it is, right? Got rid of a Charizard. Might mean he has another Charizard. Stadium removal is actually pretty clutch here, I think. Alright, so hopefully no Charizard in his hand. If he does, he may not have enough Roaring Resolve options. Okay, nice. So we may have stuck him. Which is pretty cool, because now we want to try and kill him. I could Surge double Bird Keeper if I want to. For more draw, just to get to the bottom of my deck. Oh, I should Jesse James actually. So we'll do this. Because one card was one that we didn't know about, right? Now we see what's in the box. Com is at switch is worse. I can also start getting towards slash range, so I won't put Stadium in. That's where we Rototiller. We take our Chip-Chips back. We take our Stamp back. We don't have Pal Pad, so I need to remember that, actually. We still have one Sinlin. Yes. If I find a Chip-Chip this turn, I can whatchamacallit, Bird Keeper into Steel Fist. Random card. I guess I can still do it because I can just pay retreat and attach another energy. We do hit Chip-Chip, and he lost the game. Nice. Okay, we beat a Charmeleon. No one's impressed by beating a Charmeleon, I guess. You understand why he wasn't evolving Charizard though, right? He was trying to, because Continuous Blaze Ball makes you discard. So it makes sense why he did. It's just the timing of... I feel like a lot of these lists played Blow Away Bomb, so I think when I went to 3 prizes, if I was him, I probably would have gone into the Charizard. I don't know, he also got like super carried away with energy attachments. Alright, like I said, I will choose to go first if possible, because I believe in the amount of search we have. Isn't the worst hand. I don't like starting the loot metal, obviously, but it can be a nice deterrent against some people. Alright, so Lapras is in the prizes. An Excadrill is discarded from our end. We have double Chip-Chip. We have our Saucer. We have double that. We have that. So it's Stadium Boss. It's Misty. It's one capture. Is it Pal Pad again? Pal Pad a second time. And mystery card that I don't have time for. Might be a com, possibly. I'll proactively attach, so I'm threatening Full Metal Wall as like a get out of jail free option against an ADP deck. Capture Energy is a really nice find. It means I'm threatening that Full Metal Wall, but also I can make a Minccino. ADP that does play Oranguru makes the handlock strat kind of useless, so oftentimes we have to try and like trap more often than not. Jesse James stamping is still decent because you're trying to just like hit their switches, basically, run them out that way. So he's trying to protect before he does a DAA change, which is fine. one of our prizes was a Lapras, right? Lapras was our last prize. I didn't write down the Lapras. Lapras, Pad, Capture, Misty Boss Stadium. Okay. Right. Proactive Marnie is super annoying because I had Capture. We do find a Cinccino and a draw card though, which is nice. Energy to the Zacian is very good for us. Nothing from the sword either. I will still proactively Crushing Hammer here. I think it's always a good option to Crushing Hammer because of energy switch shenanigans that they play. We will toss a Chip-Chip here, so I want to be able to use Capture for more Cincinos. Crushing is always fine, like I said. I would normally go for like proactive Jirachi, but because of our chonky starting guy, I think we should have gone for other stuff. They're going to concede on us. I mean, they didn't have early ADP. We don't know their opening hand. Like I said, people just concede on ladder. I have been favored against ADP though. To my own surprise. To my own surprise, I found that we've been favored to ladder ADP players. So take from that what you will in the like 15 games or so that I've had so far with the deck. Have been favored. Alright, we will start with Lapras because it's a 1 retreat cost Pokemon. We have Calm Quick Ball, so again, justifying choosing to go first because it just gets you towards early swords and early make-dos. So you leave out Lapras so you can retreat into Jirachi if we find energy attachments early. I actually think Drilbur's the weak link from this hand. Sorry, Drill is the weak link from this hand, I should say. Let's make sure our other Excadrill is in deck. Our Rod is prized. That was something I was checking immediately just because I just binned an Excadrill. Pal Pad once again prized. Oh no, Pal Pad in hand for once. Very good. We've prized 2 Quick Balls, which is pretty good seeing as though we found a Quick Ball. You really like the 4 obs being in the prizes because you know you'll still access the other cards. I'm always taking this here. We prized a Zacian. These are all fantastic prizes. Okay, Jesse James isn't great. And that means it's probably an energy card. No, not an energy card. Missing a card. Is it Scoop Up Net? I can't remember. Okay. We make a Zacian. The only problem with discarding the Excadrill here is that I could have... Oh no, it doesn't matter, It's fine. We will Sword. Crobat could be a multitude of decks, but if it's Eternatus, we're pretty happy with that matchup. Tossing a stamp, you actually quite like to see that. Gengar Mimi against Mewtwo? Basic energies. What's all this fancy stuff going on here? Spikemuth? I have no idea what this is. We'll take our 3 cards because I'm not allowed to play any. Early Horror House .deck. What are you playing, my spicy dude? So you're playing Dragapult with Gengar Mimi in the deck? Makes some sense. I want to see what we wish into before I make a decision on things. Because if I wish to Crushing Hammer, and then I can play Yell Grunt if we hit heads. Wish to Favor is actually pretty good. Favor not looking like a bad option, because I can open up Surge for myself. Opening up Surge is something I'm interested in. And we'll draw some cards. They're going to Marnius. Yeah, it's Dragapult. So if I play my Crushing Hammer and my top deck isn't a trainer card, I can always hide behind Zacian. I think we're hiding behind Zacian. I want this capture to live on Jirachi, I think. I could actually make a Lapras that gets me Misties, which is way better than a Cinccino here. The only thing about Misties is it opens up 5, 10, 15, 20 for him, and then I'm swording into Murder, probably. So what do we say about chilling on this hand? Giving ourselves some more time. Makes sense to me. I guess he can always attach Gust and kill something. What does he kill, though? We'll see. Alright, goes for Jirachi, that's fine, I think. Now we send Drilbur up, so then we actually put down Drilbur Lapras here, and we actually make the moves, because our deck size is still monstrous. Is there anything I need to Rototiller in here? Definitely not, so I will... Mermaid's Call, get some stuff. We definitely want this. This. Is boss better than Yell Grunt? Yeah. I guess Yell Wondrous Labyrinth was a better combo. It's fine. We will hit the sword button again. I do want to play around Marnie. If I attach an energy to Drilbur, bait out a boss, it's not the worst thing for me. We know that... Oh, Rod is actually prized, so I can't play this energy card. Yeah, okay. So killing Zacian's an option for him here, with our hand size. Stamp, seemingly an obvious play here. Oh, choosing Tamani is fine as well. It's been very rough that we've not found any Cinccinos to make this early game less disgusting. I can shove Zacian here and try and lower the hand, but it doesn't sound like the right move. Oh, jeez. Not great plays available. I favor I lose to him bossing, because we know he has Elder in hand. I'm always playing this. I think I always have to Bird Keeper here into a Cinccino. And it has to be to exactly this one, because otherwise Dragapult is a win condition for him. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So I have to play the Stamp. Do I have a win condition if I play Stamp? Next turn I can try and piece together Rosa combination to Luke Metal him. But I don't have the catch energy, and our other energy's been played. I feel like we have to Stamp, hope there's no boss coming here. It's a really horrible spot to be in. No Cinccinos means we just don't cycle this deck enough, really. Okay, one chance, one opportunity. We have our first make do online. Oh, now they come. Really, really need to find Surge. Always Hammer active here. Always Evolve. Always play Con. I think I always go into Luke Metal active this turn. I'm just thinking, so I can Rosa for energy. Oh, Sorcerer's a prize. Sorcerer's our last prize. Sorcerer's prize. So we can't make a Luke Metal this entire game, actually. Oh, yikes, 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 yikes. Okay. So all Rosa can do is get me towards Crushings. We will try and go into Zacian this turn, I guess, and Sword. Have to be super careful about putting down this Wondrous Labyrinth because they play Crushing Hammers, and that could be a way that I'd actually lose the game. Is my other stadium in deck? Yes, it is. Okay. So this has to come down. Energy is game losing if it's crushing. Intrepid Sword. Okay, that's a lot of energy removal. That could be our way out here. Also could have stamped into one, which was maybe safer than grabbing whatever I grabbed. I grabbed Stadium, right? Maybe stamping to 1 was safer than grabbing Stadium here. He's only played 1 Stadium so far. I'm guessing he's not playing a super high count though, because it's only Spike Muth. I feel like he'd play like 2, possibly. We'll see. Alright, looks like he's going fishing to try and win. Eldegoss Boss, Energy, Stadium? It's a very specific hand. Research. Shred for 60. This could be our way into the game, you know. Never mind. It's well timed. Still not allowed to attach this energy card until we handlock him. This could be game. 15, 15, 20. Yep. Got us. Oh, it doesn't get us? Oh, I'm not... Yeah, I said he got us, but I forgot that he moneyed. Okay. We will make it a do. Well, we got some chaotic top decks ahead. Good luck us. This is what we call dicey. Spin if energy is allowed, right? Any energy is allowed. Alright. Do I start getting crushings here? I think I definitely take this. I don't stamp him yet. All right. We hope that Pal Pad's in top 3. We actually got there, which is cool. I feel like he probably would have had... There would have been times where the Chip-Chips got kind of dicey, but I actually think we could lock from there. It was super dicey that entire game, but we managed to get there. We probably would have had to attack to win that game because of time constraints. But Dedenne was left active. The idea would have been trying to crushing down the Gengar, so then only one attachment lets him shred for 60 maximum. We have 120 on Excadrill. We'll never let him have energy and boss because we're always protecting one of those top decks. So we would probably try and kill the Dedenne Eldegoss Crobat. So we would have had to weave in Crushing Hammers with our strategy, or if he kept proactively playing cards, we could Surge, Yell, Grunt, JJ away energies as well. So yeah, let's have one more game, because we've had some concessions so far. We will lead out with the Lapmeister. Going first, but the double capture energy coming in clutch right now. ADP. Okay. ADP kind of makes me want to attach to Luke Metal early game. Well, I have 2 Bird Keepers in hand, yo. Let's do it. Let's spook the guy. Early Luke Metal usually doesn't work out too well, but in this situation, I'm pretty up for it. Threaten that ADP ASAP. Lots of letters coming at you. I should have checked with the capture energy. I didn't check my prizes. That's a Monka yikes. I will check with Misty's as long as I don't have to Bird Keeper for Luke Metal next turn. Alright, that's a good amount of energies in the bin early. Obviously, we're most concerned about that water energy count. There's one. Can he Saucer E-Switch? Is he going to try to Saucer E-Switch? That requires a lot of digging, and if you miss, you're very sad. He is digging. He is trying. He's out here trying to GX us. Maybe. Oh, baby. So he already had the E-Switch in hand, which is why he Crobated for 2. And it looks like he was whiffing the basic Pokemon in which to do things. So he does get that GX attack off, which is a huge yikes from the outset. Hitting the heads is huge. Definitely a sigh of relief there already for us. I'm thinking Misty's Favor is going to be more useful than Bird Keeper right now. Bird Keeper can get us towards Cinccino's actually. Gets Luke Metal active as well, which is like somewhat of a trap for us, but also it's the only tank that we have right now, so... we did not find any means of getting any Pokemon down. I'll play this down to play around Marnie, and also it's the best thing I can put active. We will just hit the sword button at this juncture. Alright. ADP is the get to GX, always Monka yikes. We're not gonna get that twisted. 2 energy switches gone, still potentially 2 maximum still in his deck, so if he can Saucer E-Switch and attach a blue this turn, then we're in rough shape, because he pulls a lot of energies out of the deck, lots of threats all coming in at once. E-Switch to Zacian is much safer for us. Energy attachment to Zacian is also pretty okay. Viridian. Research. At least he's cycling quickly. I mean, it's scary, but it's also like kind of good for us. He can take a 4 prize knockout next turn, but... And the thing we're missing is Surge. I guess we're missing... Yeah, if I can Surge, then I can Misty's for the JJ. This could be quick, though. Could be quick if he's quids in. He is not quids in. Good news. He's also given us Viridian, so I can full Metal Wall on that Zacian, which is really good for us. We also draw Quick Ball. So we always toss a Misty here because it's free. We always take the Metal Energy. We are always bossing. We are always quick balling. I think I'm always just trying to play around Stamp and stuff as much as possible. I'm always Gala Mining here as well. Do I also want a Pal Pad? Pal Pad Bird Keeper Boss sounds very good actually. Full Metal. One Saucer down, a decent number of E-switches down. That's 3 E-switch gone. So he's probably never ultimate raying this game. I need to try and find Stellar Wish as quickly as possible because I have a lot of hammers that I have access to that I need to be hitting most turns. I still need that Surge as well. Surge Misty is such a strong play so I can access Yell Grunt, Bosses, JJ. Wait, Surge isn't live yet. What am I talking about? Surge will eventually be live though. Attaching active, okay. Thinning cards as well. Aggressively thinning. Primate Wisdom, protect things. Protect before Marnie? No, protect before Sword to guarantee attachment, I guess. Yes, okay. Wondrous Labyrinth is a good card for us. I have to decide if I want physical draw cards or if I want to Misties towards things now. I gotta say, I think I want a Sinlin here. Good deal. No Crushings, which kind of hurts. Wondrous Labyrinth is a debate card now. How many stadiums gone? So far just 1 Viridian. If I'm slowing down tempo, it's very good for us, but he basically never doesn't have boss here, right? He basically always has boss. It's whether he's got boss stadium. There was no reason for him to play stadium last turn, but I'm still paranoid of Marnie, and if I just take an extra turn off, it's so good for me, so I think I'll just play this card proactively. Surge, Yell Grunt, Energy, all good cards. There's Stadium. Four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 energies. Boss on Zacian, basically always here, I think. No, boss Excadrill. It's actually kind of good for us. Means I can't loop hammers, but I don't think it's that bad for me. Making him boss more often because I'll put Luke Metal back active. My deck's not thin enough for me to want to Excadrill yet anyways, so it's like completely fine. Alright, we will thin our free energy card because it's free. Call. We will now Surge. Right, I always want this accessible. I think I'm just taking both of those, right? Both JJs. So even if he takes a turn off, I am threatening him. And bossing makes no sense. Excuse me. Drawing more cards does make sense, because I do want to try and find a Drilbur. I can always capture for Drilbur now, though, if I want to. How do I feel about capturing for Drilbur? Feel pretty good about it. I want to remain active, so he has to switch boss. I do want to draw cards though. Maybe I was meant to miss these for another target other than double JJ here. Oh, I was just meant to catch onto Cinccino, right? If I capture Cinccino, I can pay retreat back into Luke Metal. So small mistake there. I do want to draw these cards anyway though, and just let him go down to 2, I guess. It's only really sketchy against Marnie. This just gives us so much more cardage. I'm interested in cardage. Want to thin non-combo cards. Stamping with 10 in deck after Intrepid Sword to try and not get Marnied. He's played no Marnies so far. His hand size is 8. 3, 6, 7, 8. I'm into it, I think. All right. Let's see where this takes us. Can he switch retreat? Or is he just gonna sword up here? Bringing up Drilbur again. We do have our rod, so it's not a problem. Choosing to attach Accent makes him like switch plus balloon or double switch here, which could play into our hands if we hand lock and trap. Continuing to thin cards. He's trying to make it so we have no Chip-Chip options, which is smart from him. Pass is good for us, obviously. We will take our freebie. Right, I always want to surge. Can't stamp yet. So I can stamp, surge, JJ, scoop up net active, pass with Luke Metal active. Then I'm forced to next turn. I won't be able to surge boss. So alternative is boss this turn. I think I want to remove this hand. From his side. And then pass with Luke Metal active, knowing that I need to Bird Keeper next turn. if he hits me. Actually, I can see the outcome of this as well. Oh wait, do I need this card? Yeah, I actually need to bin this card. Need to be super careful of what I'm doing here. So now it's whether I want to Excadrill Rototiller stuff now, and then just have... let's see the Chip-Chip always here. So this is a fine card for him to have. Can always turn into an energy card if he wants it to. He just has to announce an attack this turn to do that, so I could just go into the Luke Metal this turn, see if he wants to attack or not. Next turn I can just... Bird Keeper Chip-Chip again. No, I would have to boss first, then Chip-Chip, and then give him random card. Okay, this is getting pretty yucky, but... I also need to make sure I have enough cards in my deck to make this play if I want to Intrepid Sword this turn. Do I want to Intrepid Sword? Intrepid Sword puts me on a clock. No, not too much actually, because I have the rod. I'm taking way too much time on these decisions, which is a problem, but we're gonna live with these decisions. I can also see the outcome of the Crushing Hammers next turn, actually. He always has random cards. Okay, let's see some action. Hey, that's pretty broken. If I hadn't Gallimind, I could have paid Retreat and not had to Bird Keeper, so I could have made a different play and actually rotated this turn. I could start Steel Fisting him though, which is pretty funny. And see how he likes them apples. Do I want to make do to access this last card? I need to play faster. I mean, he only has 11 cards, so it's not that hectic, but... Chip-Chip really doesn't matter. I should save it for Make Do's and Jesse James players, actually. Let him know that I'm trying to kill him. I feel like the Gallimind was a big mistake. I was meant to Rototiller so I could get into my Crushing Hammers faster here. I feel like he's getting too many random cards from Oranguru. This Still access to 2 switches. How many energies played? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in hand. He's going to Intrepid for cardboard. He has a lot of options now. I'm dead to him having boss energy and switch. And we are extremely close with the amount of sources and energies gone. He still has some sources actually, so... It's always this. Doesn't have to be energy ever. Stamp sounds like a good card. Do Crushing sound like the right play, or do I need to instant access Surge? Probably need to instant access Surge. So I can Surge Misty's Favor from the Pal Pad. I mean, Chip-Chip doesn't matter. I'm not taking Chip-Chip, right? Yeah, it's always... And I think it just has to be a boss for if he... No, not a boss, because he has to switch anyway after Intrepid Sword. So it's probably just Crushing. One Crushing is so random and nonsense. But it could be game winning. I think it's this. So he still needs Switch Energy Boss. Or Saucer Energy Boss. Sorry, Saucer Switch Boss. He definitely has a number of switches left. He probably has third boss left. Killing Excadrill obviously still a problem as well. I guess he's making the plays to win the game. Scouted with the other thing. Yeah, he got us. Okay. I think I made the mistake with the Gala Mine. I think that's the turn I lost the game. Because if I am into... So he spent a turn like hitting into this guy. Oh, sorry, he passed into this guy, then hit into it. If I was able to retreat before the Gala Mine, I don't have to waste a turn bird keeping, and I get more hammers back and get into the combo better. I don't know, let me know where I lost that game. Obviously, it was a game where he went turn 1 GX, so we're always on the back foot. I've been favored so far against ADP with this list. It felt kind of chaotic, that game. Again, like fairly slow Cinccino's, so we weren't like hard hammering him throughout the entire game. Some decision trees there that I'm not completely happy with. I think I misplayed one of my Misty's Favors as well when I got the double JJ and then wasted a supporter turn. Oh no, I did the I played Bird Keeper to leave Lapras up, which I'm not too happy about either. Just fed him an easier turn, but he actually sorted into that anyway. So a few missteps along the way. We weren't able to Stellar Wish throughout the entire game either in the early turns, which is another great way to get hammers and yell grunts and stuff earlier, because we went for the proactive Luke Metal. So a few factors at play there. But overall, I think some relatively okay gameplay from this deck. I'm sure you were all shouting at me at points during that last game where things went haywire. Even against the Dragapult deck, I don't think I necessarily played it too well, but it's late right now. I'm not the best control player in the world. I'll admit to that, so flame me down below. Let me know how you guys play this deck, all that good stuff. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in another video tomorrow. Cheers.